Alright, tonight's challenge is going to be a scary challenge. We have this gorgeous Reaper pod. Got that farm boy. Beautiful, magnificent specimen of a scorpion. I plan to make a gusher using the Heartbreaking Dawn's cauterizer, which is primarily a scorpion sauce, scorpion forward sauce, with lots of other seasonings in there. So I probably should have worn my Scorpions t-shirt from the Winds of Change tour. Got my blade. Okay. Making a hole. Alright. Man. I just took the majority of the seeds out because I really don't like chewing up seeds. Not in sauce so much, but in pods. So there's my container for my gusher. Well, there's a little hole there, but hopefully it won't get out. Scorpion. Wow, they smell. They smell more floral, I think, than they even taste, if that's even possible. Oh. Alright. This one's going to leave a mark. This is going to be a doozy. Okay, here we go. Alright, well, I have to just go with it. I'll try and keep it off the keyboard here in case it runs out onto Max's keyboard. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Okay, the pod, she's full. Almost full to the top. If I could tip it to show you, I would, but I suspect it's going to drip out if I do. Watch. Watch, wallet, spectacles, testicles. God help me. Fire in the hole. Holy hell. That was a lot of pod. Didn't look very big, but it took forever to chew it up. I know this is going to hurt. There's so much heat already. The floral flavor right off the bat. Scorpion has to be the most floral of all pods. And you can kind of tell when you swallow it where the pain starts, how bad it's going to be. So for me, it's starting all the way down in my belly. It's starting way down here. That's where I'm starting to feel it. It's going to creep all the way up. It's going to creep up the back of my throat. Oh my. That is really, really hot. Oh boy. It's a good thing I brought a couple of extra cans of apple juice because this might be a three apple juice pod right here. Oh, I can feel it in my chest so much. Oh, the sweat's breaking out already. My ears are turning red. This one anyway. The ringing is starting to get the ringing in my ears already. Oh boy, this one's going to build hard. I can feel it so much in my gut. Oh my. Oh. Heartbreaking Dawn's gusher. Cauterizer. At least I won't bleed to death. Oh my goodness. That is a really hot pod. My mustache is sweating already. I can feel the sweat dripping down inside my mustache. That's not what you want to do. Wrong pipe, that juice. Oh, so floral. That's got to be my least favorite flavor. As much as I love scorpion sauces, because I really do. The Rogue was one of my first love affairs, and that's a pure scorpion, I believe. Or mostly scorpion anyway. Sweet scorpion, delicious, delicious sauce. Great beginner sauce. Anybody listening that wonders where to start, Rogue by High River is a fantastic starting point. Because you can go easy at first, you can dial it up a little as you go. Also, it's a good one to have on hand when you start diving deeper, because as I found out very early on, you can kind of you can step down if you go too far. Let's say you hit something that's a little too hot for your liking and you start to enter panic mode. You can douse something with a lesser sauce, and it'll bring you back down a little. Believe it or not, it's like reverse. It's the opposite of stacking, like anti-stacking, I guess. But it seems to work. You can kind of dial down a too hot pod. So now the heat's all into my tongue now. It's kind of leaving my esophagus now. It's kind of coming up into my throat. I'm waiting for the blowtorch on the back of the throat, because that's going to happen. It's into my tongue. It's getting my lips a little bit. I wasn't careful not to lick my lips, and I didn't put any lip balm on first, which is another excellent strategy. If you're somebody that finds your lips are really sensitive to the burn, you can hit them with a little bit of lip balm up front. It'll protect you a lot from the capsaicin getting on your lips. So I'd have to say most of the flavor from the cauterizer was lost in the pod. Most of the gushers that I've done in the past have kind of, the pod and the sauce kind of cancel out the bitter. Oh, I didn't think that was a hiccup. It was like a burp up. The pod and the sauce, my mustache is so sweaty. The pod and the sauce kind of tend to cancel out the negative effects of the other. Wow, I got pepper meat all stuck to the sides of my cheeks. Whoa, all up against my gums. That's not good. And it's very, very, very hot. Still no throat burn. I'm kind of surprised about that. I guess it's coming, maybe. Nose is running. That's a good sign. Eyelids are getting a little sweaty. I don't think I'm going to cry this time. Usually I can sense that coming before it happens. One ear's still red. The other one's not so bad. This one doesn't seem to be getting red at all, but that one seemed to really heat up there. Well, I'm starting to see maybe that going to a drink. Oh, hello there, Leo. Would you like to taste a Reaper pod? I'm starting to realize that when you think you're doing yourself a favor by grabbing a drink, you're probably making things a lot worse than they have to be. Right now, I'm just sitting here thinking I should have some apple juice, but I know that when I do, I'm going to get the burn in my throat. I'm going to get it all down my esophagus again. It's going to wake it all up again. I'm aware that it's already calmed down a little bit. It's still in my mouth hard right now. My tongue, back of my tongue, tip of my tongue, sides of my tongue. I can feel it all over. Like I said, my lips got really bad this time. I think because I just got to put too much out there, like that. Yeah, I'm still a little bit nervous. It's weird. I got kind of an eyeball headache happening there a little bit. That has never happened before. Usually quite the opposite. That if I have a little bit of a headache and I eat a pod or a super hot sauce, that'll kind of force that endorphin rush that'll make the headache just disappear. It's I wouldn't say it's a cure for everything. I wouldn't probably advise. It's almost like that old thing, if you got a sore thumb, we'll hit your toe with the hammer, because it'll take your mind right off your sore thumb, right? So I don't know if that's what's at work here, but it's kind of weird. I got a little bit of an eyeball headache going in the one eyeball. But I know that there's going to be an endorphin rush. It hasn't started yet, but pretty soon my brain will realize that my mouth has been on fire, and we'll have that lovely endorphin dump that is really what makes this what it's all about. This enduring pain, as much as that might sound like a whole bunch of fun, doesn't really. Oh boy, my tongue! Wow, I went to get some pepper meat out of my tooth there. See it right there? And my tongue just lit up. There we go. Any more hiding? No. Ugh. Well, the 11-minute mark, and I haven't had any apple juice yet, so let's see if I'm right or wrong. Is this going to ramp it up? Nope. Not so bad. The ringing in the ears thing, the tinnitus thing, is really loud. Usually that doesn't happen unless I'm in for a big burn. But this one, it's actually fairly mild, considering. Maybe that's with the scorpion pepper, the scorpion pods, and maybe the fresh pods maybe fluctuate. Because that last one I ate was harder than the Reaper. It was so hot. I had the blowtorch spot on the back of my throat for minutes, like just minutes. I was wondering is this ever going to go away? And finally it let me go. But this one I didn't get any throat burn at all, which is kind of odd. I got the esophagus burn. I might get it later at the junction, the sphincter, the other sphincter, I guess, your belly sphincter. Brings to mind all kinds of off-color jokes. Rectum, goddamn near killed. Well, that was a good challenge. I'm surprised. Maybe my tolerance is coming up a little too. Maybe that first scorpion was because it was well, it wasn't my first scorpion, but it's the first one I've had in a while. Haico gave me the couple of scorpions that were nasty. They were just as evil as the Reapers, that's for sure. Oh, more news tonight. Haico told me he's got some Dutch pepper sauce that is not available outside of Holland, that is made with Dutch peppers that I haven't heard of, haven't looked them up yet to see, but he said it's a 5 out of 5 for heat, which makes me a little nervous, because if Haico thinks it's hot, it's gonna be hot. And also he said he's got that bottle of the 4H, the Hounds of Hell, Haico's Hounds of Hell hot sauce made with the beer, with the IPA, that he wants me to review, that I would love to review. I'm dying to try that sauce to see if the beer flavor comes through at all. Maybe it's a little hoppy, maybe the bitterness will come through a little. I wonder if that pairs well with whatever pods went into that sauce. I would think that sometimes bitter and bitter, it's almost like two negatives being a positive. So if you get, that's what I was saying about the other gushers that I've made, that most of the time the fresh pod bitter gets killed by the sauce, and it can even it out really nicely and make for a more pleasurable pod ingestion than just eating a naked pod by itself. But I know if you're Johnny Scoville and you fill your pod with tincture, oh, excuse me, that was a horrible burp. Oh. That it's probably going to be like a flamethrower. And that one that he made, he filled it with tincture and then he sprinkled capsaicin crystals all over, capsaicin powder or something all over it, and it was like this sugary gusher. Ugh. But I always like seeing Johnny almost in panic mode. That makes me think that he's still human a little bit somehow. I don't know how. Anyways, coming on 15 minutes. Cheers, everyone.